Hong Kong Chief Executive Carrie says she will formally withdraw the controversial extradition bill that has triggered months of unrest in the city. She says the bill will be withdrawn when Parliament reopens next month.
The government will formally withdraw the bill in order to fully allay public concerns. The Secretary for Security will move a motion according to the rules of procedure when the Legislative Council resumes.
Mrs. Lam also walked through the protesters' 5 demands in her address and then presented actions that the government will take going forward.
From this month, I and my principal officials will reach out to the community to start a direct dialogue. People from all walks of life with different stances and backgrounds are invited to share their views and air their grievances. We must find ways to address the discontent in society and to look for solutions.
For the latest, let's cross over to our correspondent, Roland Lim. He's in Hong Kong, and our senior correspondent in Hong Kong, he joins us now. Roland, any indication as to why Mrs. Lam decided to formally withdraw the bill today?
Right. Well, Mrs. Lam says that really this is to try to move forward from a highly vulnerable and dangerous place and basically to find solutions to the current political and social unrest that Hong Kong is facing right now. Mrs. Lam, however, stopped short of actually announcing a full independent investigation into the crisis, including the police response and its use of force. That's another one of the most fervent 5 demands by protesters on the streets. Now, remember, Mrs. Lam missed a golden opportunity to show that she was sorry to do it months ago. She merely suspended the bill on June 15th. Then, a couple of days later, more than 2 million people took to the streets in protest. And then about a month later, July 9th, she declared the bill dead. But she never withdrew it from the legislative agenda, which actually requires a formal process. That is, until now. Now, in response to the protesters' other demands on setting up of a commission of inquiry to look into the whole extradition bill saga, including the government's handling of the matter and abuses by police, Mrs. Lam says she still believes that the existing and well-established Independent Police Complaints Council, IPCC, can still do the job. It's already been tasked with a fact-finding mission. A study beefed up by overseas experts look into the protest actions all the way from June 9th till today. And she says her administration will follow up closely with the recommendations that the IPCC makes. Now, protesters, however, say that the IPCC, which monitors and reviews complaints against members of the police force, is stacked with loyalists in Mrs. Lam's court and cannot be impartial. Now, thirdly, on the matter of the protest being classified as a riot, she reiterated the fact that there is no legal effect on how such incidents can be described or categorized. The Department of Justice has assured the public that each and every prosecution decision is based on evidence collected and is in strict accordance with the Code of Prosecution. However, protesters believe that a lot of the prosecution thus far has been politically motivated in nature, and don't forget, the charge of rioting is the most serious in the Public Order Ordinance, carrying a jail term of up to 10 years. Now, on dropping the charges against protesters, amnesty for all the protesters and riots, and shelving prosecution, Mrs. Lam says this is contrary to the rule of law, and it's not acceptable that criminal prosecutions must be handled by the Department of Justice free from interference. And finally, the 5th demand, implementing universal suffrage, one man, one vote for the next chief executive. Well, Mrs. Lam says that discussions must be undertaken within the existing legal framework and in an atmosphere conducive to mutual trust and understanding. And that is certainly not in the current climate today.
Okay, so one protest demand met, that's the extradition bill being shelved. So can we expect protesters to perhaps maybe now slow down or stop with their actions?
Well, political analysts' reactions seem to be so far that the consensus is that the move will actually fail to pacify the public, since no senior official has been sacked, nor any senior police officers held accountable for the excessive use of force or abuse of powers by the police. Too little, too late. That's what Joshua Wong posted in his Facebook posting. And remember, Joshua Wong leader of the 2014 Occupy movement, which was a precursor really to the unrest that we're seeing on the streets today. Now, it's not immediately clear if the bill's withdrawal will help end the unrest, but the immediate reaction seems to be one of skepticism, and really the real test will be how many people will continue to take to the streets in the days ahead. We've already had users of the popular Reddit-like forum, LIHKG, as well as social media Telegram messaging app. Now, they were already discussing the withdrawal of the bill and asking members to vote on their future course of action. And already there's some insisting that the chief executive has to meet all 5 of the demands, which includes an inquiry as well as alleged police brutality and universal suffrage before they are satisfied.
Thanks for that, Roland Lim, speaking to us from Hong Kong.